And we are live. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the BSC News NFT Summit. Today, we have a heavyweight lineup of BSC protocols that are looking to innovate and apply their creativity to the NFT space. For those of you who are unaware, we've been teasing this lineup all week, and we have speakers from Binance NFT, Refinable, ApeSwap, NFTB, and Dago Finance. These are some of the largest BSC protocols in the space that are focusing on NFTs. So I'm definitely excited for this. Each speaker has went ahead and prepared a short presentation, about 2 to 3 slides. So we'll go ahead and jump into those and then open up to some general Q&A and some discussion. And yeah, the main goal of this event is to educate all DeFi users alike, whether you're just getting into NFTs or you are on NFTs every day looking at Binance NFT, Refinable, like this is what you're doing every day. So this summit will be great for all users alike. Next up, we have a pretty hyped up project coming after Refinable. These guests are actually not new to BSC News at all. They've been on a couple live streams before. And I'm going to be talking to Chimp and Chip today from ApeSwap. He's a part of the core team and also the founder of ApeLabs. And so he's going to talk to us a little bit about the non fungible apes and what's going on over at ApeSwap and ApeLabs today. So without further ado, Chip should be jumping in here. How's it going, man?
Great. How are you, Greg?
Dude, I'm doing really good. It's nice to have you on here. We're literally just throwing some messages before talking about how we're always excited to chat NFTs. So I guess we'll jump right into that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Always happy to come on and have a conversation with you. It's always a blast. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah. Let me know if you have any issues there sharing your screen.
Sure. Let me get it going.
Awesome. I can already see the chat getting fired up for ApeSwap.
They got to. Okay. So I went to share it, but it doesn't. Yeah.
There you are. Oh, we're having some
Is it flickering?
Going. Yeah. I took you out. Go ahead and redo
it. Try good.
Worst comes to worst, I have it on my side, so I will be able to pull it up.
Okay, I think it's good to go now.
There we are. Yep, we're in.
Okay, perfect. So today I'll be talking about NFT utility. We actually had a lab at ApeLabs specifically on that last week. It's such a huge, involving topic, but we're pretty fortunate in that our non-fungible apes have quite a bit of utility, actually. So let me click through here. So non-fungible apes from ApeSwap.finance. They released at the beginning of the year before the big hype and rush that we're seeing now into NFTs. And so it was feedback solicited from the community of apes in the beginning. Everybody wanted to have some NFTs and some non-fungible apes. So we went ahead and dove right into it. And they have that classic kind of 8-bit aesthetic. But it's 1,000 randomly generated apes. Each is unique with provable scarcity. And that scarcity is derived from 6 different characteristics. So the base, which would be like the skin color, face color, frame, mouth, eyes, and top. And so each one of these characteristics is going to have some different qualities. So maybe the mouth will have a feature instead of just smiling. Maybe it'll be frowning. Maybe for the hat, it'll have a hat, or maybe it won't have a hat. Maybe it'll have a third eye. And so each different one of these features contributes to the rarity scale. And so then it came out to 5 tiers of rarity. And you can see the different appropriations. When we did these releases, there really was a good NFT infrastructure out in BSC. And so our first, we did 9 or 10 releases of about 100 per batch. And the first release was on Treasureland, and it worked pretty well. And so we did the second release on Treasureland, and there was some issue with the graph. And it took like 9 hours for just like one of the NFTs to pop up to be available for sale. And then we tried LootX. And so we tried all these different marketplaces, but the infrastructure on BSC back then, it just really wasn't up to speed. And now since NFT Key has served as kind of a primary market for it, but we did also do auctions on ApeSwap.finance as a part of the final release.
And those got pretty crazy, if I'm remembering correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they definitely did. And the prices on the releases for our NFAs were significantly smaller than where they're trading in the aftermarket. So everybody who's been in and out, the flippers and the holders and so forth, they've all seemed to have really kind of enjoyed the ride along the way. So when we were looking at the final release, and in that final release was the single most rare NFA that we have, which is Colossal Ape on the screen. We were all really excited to see how it would play out, right? And so we were super, super blown away when that auction closed at 326 BNB. That's nearly $200,000 on any given day. So that was really, really impressive. And the other tiers too were popping, right? So like tier 4s were going for high values, and tier 3s, and we built that contract and we hosted it on ApeSwap.finance. And so it was a really, really good conclusion to the release for the set. So now they're all out in the open. They're all out in the market. They're pretty actively traded. And so that's kind of that when it comes to the background and how they were released. Along the way, right, we've been able to do a lot of really cool things with our NFAs. And this is because we're DEX, right? So like if you were a standalone NFT project, you probably aren't going to have volumes of teams coming up to give tokens to your holders, right? But we get that at ApeSwap. We have people who want exposure to our holders of our NFT. And so maybe they want to airdrop tokens, or maybe it's an IAO partner and they want to do airdrop. And so we've been able to give them a lot of really unique utility that you don't find elsewhere in the market. One of the first utilities was the staking that we saw on Blockmine, which you could go and stake your NFA, and I believe you earn nuggets as a reward. And since we actually have rolled out NFA staking on ApeSwap, so that's kind of a nice advantage. The airdrops, like I talked about previously, they're huge. We've had 7 different airdrops totaling over $105,000. So that's a pretty good return, right? Because generally, if you buy an NFT and you're buying it to speculate on its value, right, you're not really expecting to see a bunch of tokens in the process. So it's been a really, really nice benefit. And then what we've done via governance proposals, the community voted to have our IAOs come out on a vesting schedule. And so we've actually deployed that vesting in the airdrops too.
And let me jump in here. Sorry, Chip. Last time we were talking about NFAs here, I think we had one of the last 2 drops going on. We were just talking about how I was a little upset that I didn't catch any of the earlier drops. I didn't end up participating in the last 2 drops, of course. I don't know why, but just seeing and touching on the fact that Non Fungible Apes, while earlier I was saying not too many collections caught traction on Binance Smart Chain, Non Fungible Apes caught a tremendous amount of traction. And it's just insane seeing the ecosystem go and what you guys are incorporating to your NFTs. Like looking at 7 airdrops over 6 figures, it plays out to each NFA getting over $1,000 just for holding their ape, which is incredible there, to say the least, on top of these apes also appreciating in value. It's really cool to see how much this ecosystem is flourishing and just adding to ApeSwap, right? This is only one sort of sector niche that you guys are focusing on.
Yeah, it's kind of to our detriment. We have so many things going on, and I feel like a lot of it get lost in the shuffle. But yeah, no, that was a great conversation last time, and the price just continues to go up. So I guess Greg, just don't hold off anymore. You gotta get it too, man.
Apparently so.
So when we had our auction release schedule, that was a contract we created, and we kind of structured it and created how it worked. And so once our release is finished, we're like, well, we've got this awesome contract. What are we going to do with it? Well, let's let the holders sell it, right, in their own auction on ApeSwap. And so now that is the utility available to holders as well. When we created these NFTs, never in a million years did we envision that it was going to be entitled to all of this, right? And we didn't plan on it, right? Like this wasn't in the plan. We weren't gonna be like, all right, so 9 months later, we're gonna develop an auction contract and host it on the site. And so to see these developments, it's really, really encouraging, and just makes me even more kind of bullish on everything.
Yeah, it's incredible how these things play out.
So A recent initiative, which is being driven by myself, and we have students actually have a lab today, and that's our ApeLabs NFT. And so this is a very unique utility because this isn't monetized, right? We don't sell these. Students earn them. And then so when they earn these NFT, right, when they complete a lab, it represents their completion. It's a graduate certificate. And so we've heard, I think, Cardano's one who's very famously going to do like all of the educational certificates in Africa and so forth, right? Well, we're not like speculating on whether this is a graduate certificate. It's actually out there and real. And so this is easy to verify for prospective employers. And if it's a crypto job board, very, very easy checkpoint when they connect their wallet. And so if a holder has one of these NFT in their wallet, it'll reflect that they graduated from that lab or they completed our entire certification course. So this is a nice element of NFT utility that we've brought in. We don't sell these NFTs; they're only earned, and so far, all the students seem to be really proud of it, and so it seems to be working really well in that regard.
Yeah, that's super cool. This kind of circles back to another common theme we've been saying, like, how do you onboard new users without a lot of friction? And this is a great answer here, right? Free education that also is verified by an NFT, kind of getting innovative with the technology, seeing what you do. I'm curious, what are sort of the main things you guys look to cover around Ape Labs? What are the main sort of,
Yeah.
like, what are you
Well,
showing?
we have a core curriculum of 8 different labs, and then the topics range from DeFi 101 to NFTs to risk management to intro to DeFi coding, and then followed up by a capstone at the end where they step out of the marketplace and kind of into the team's shoes. And so this curriculum is really meant to give people like a foundation so they can go into the different ecosystems and into the different crypto markets and be confident in their decision making. Because what we've seen in ApeSwap is there's just such a huge gap in crypto education. And so this was a solution that we felt very confident in. And so far, the students are performing really, really well. And I think that they're going to be very attractive for all the different crypto teams that are out there, right? Because these people are going to have a very, very firm skill set in crypto and decentralized finance.
Yeah, and I think that's incredible. Like, even taking a step back, just ApeSwap's general focus on developing the ecosystem around them, realizing that this is very much kind of a give and take space, and that recognizing these gaps in education where not only are you guys drilling and teaching people things, you've set up your own ecosystem fund and are helping incubate projects. You guys went ahead and said, you know what, we're going to build our own sort of builder MVB like program and incubate projects and kind of improve the space in that way. So not only is it that you guys are building all these different things, you guys are also kind of bridging this gap, as you mentioned, and getting people up to speed on crypto and DeFi, which currently I think everyone can agree in the space that there is an immense amount of demand for talent, and it's all the talent is starting to get scooped up is what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's it's a process, right? Like we're just starting this out, right? And so as time goes on, things are just going to get better and kind of provide better value for the students that are coming in. And we look forward to it. We look forward to filling this gap. And I would remind everybody, like with what you're saying, like when we're making moves and we're rolling out features and we're adding additions to our ecosystem, these aren't 3 to 6 week type plans, right? Like we're looking on very, very long timeframes. So if you're highly focused on speculation and those types of things, it's very easy to gloss over what we're trying to build for the long term. So I just definitely encourage everybody to keep that in mind, right? Like we're looking ahead at years and years and years, right? We're not focused on what's happening, tomorrow for pumponomics or those types of things with price. Like we're trying to build out a very, very real, very valid, very legitimate ecosystem for people to transact in.
Yeah, and that's incredibly important because at the end of the day, we've seen what's happened with cycles before. It wouldn't be sort of out of the blue to get massive corrections. So building things like around the ecosystem, educating users, those are all things that go for the longevity of your project. And just to kind of get to some Q&A here and open it up, I'm curious, for any users, is it too late to jump into ApeLabs? If not, what's the process for that, or how can they at least catch the next one?
Yeah, so our next one actually starts on Monday, and it's our operational security class. And we have a very, very talented and skillful guest speaker in that regard, who is a Borat. And so, yeah, they could register for it on apelabs.education now. The entire certification course will restart in January. So if you wanted to try a lab, see if it's worth pursuing full certification later, be a great opportunity, because operational security is a huge miss in crypto. And, if you spend enough time in Telegram or Discord chats, you see it, nearly every other day or along those lines, where someone, kind of makes a boo-boo and puts their seed into the wrong site and loses all their funds. And so kind of going over this topic and diving in and preparing people to be safe is going to be critical for us.
100%. Yeah, I think that's incredibly important. Chip, I'm not sure if I have too much else for you here. I don't know if there's any finishing remarks. I am just pretty excited to see what's going on with Ape Labs. Before jumping on the stream, I haven't really gotten the time to into it. But after hearing you describe it, I'm like, oh, operational security. I might need to jump into a workshop like that. And just
Hey, we'd
kind
love
of,
to have you.
yeah, and it'd be amazing to just hear some of these things for a second time, hopefully, but even just strengthen a lot of these concepts. You can never stop learning in DeFi, definitely. So I really
Yeah.
like the program you guys have going on there.
Thanks so much, Greg. Yeah, and just as kind of a final comment, when this presentation was made, our partnership with Liquid Collectibles wasn't out, and we've also have since kind of released an article about our NFAs. So what we're looking to do going forward is we're looking to migrate this contract, add in some functionality in terms of IPFS integration, metadata on chain, and these types of things. So then we can look at potentially like fractionalizing our NFAs thereafter. And so that's a topic I love, right? I love the idea of fractionalizing NFT, but just as kind of a final note, like the pursuit of adding utility for our non-fungible apes, like it's not over. We didn't know we would be here now. And, with like Liquid Collectibles and what we're going to be doing with the migration, just a lot more to look forward to with our non-fungible ape utility.
Awesome. I have one more thing that someone in chat reminded me about. I believe I saw a tease at some point of some sort of banana collection. Is there plans on more sort of these, maybe an airdrop or anything you can share? I see Javi asked if there will be more NFAs or similar. So that sparked my
Yeah,
interest in
so
that.
there's no more NFAs. They're 1,000. They're kind of like Bitcoin, only 21 million, only 1,000 will ever be made. But yeah, no, we've actually got. I mean, NFTs are so popular, so we have non-fungible bananas, and then maybe there's a charity project we do with a different NFT collection, and so yeah, we've got more stuff in the works for everybody. We don't
Awesome.
stop.
Yeah, sounds good, Chip. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm sure we'll see you on here in due time. For anyone that wants to keep up, ApeSwap is always getting announcements going. So we tend to cover things here and there because ApeSwap always has something going on.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
Yep, definitely.